chance to hear it, so let her tell it. People on the streets say Sabrina speaks. Tune into the show, she will let you know. Tell all your friends and family. Real talk is no joke. You get the news straight up from grassroots and concerns. You can hear with some people gone. So tell all your friends to tune in to
Good evening, Cayman. I'm Sabrina Turner, and welcome to Sabrina Speaks, your daily dose of clarity, truth, and community insights. Every weekday from 5 to 6:30 p.m., we're tackling the issues that affect you, from national headlines to grassroots concerns. Whether you're in traffic or winding down your day, this is your chance to hear it straight and speak your truth. So buckle up, Cayman. We're not holding back.
This is the show. We gotta let you know. Now we got to go.
And now here's Sabrina.
Huge reboot. There I am. everything, everything. I wouldn't even say went down. It, like Sabrina, it's about time. Just reboot. And that's what I did. Welcome, one and all, to our friends and family near and far. How are you? Welcome to another episode right here on CMRTV.com of Sabrina Speaks, where we're voices of the islands, conversations for the world, and the podcast where voices rise, stories unfold, and inspiration definitely takes center stage. It's good to be back with you on this Wednesday. Yes, and what we'll be doing today, it looks like you could call this almost like university. We're going back to school. But this is not, today's episode is not data from 2025. This is information for the first quarter for core government that we want to be talking about today. And we're going to be breaking that down, but you're going to be able to follow that document along with me as well. But for those of you who had missed the last show, that was about the ESO, data, statistics. Yeah. And now we're going to be talking a little bit more about dollars and cents. We are going to be breaking it down and looking at the issues that matter to you and your family, because we are going to, my aim is here is just taking a clear, accessible look at the government's financial performance for their first quarter of 2026. This is a legal public document that is in the public's domain. And what we're going to be talking about is about revenue, monies that are coming in, monies that are going out, the spending, cash reserves, debt, capital projects, as well as in this document, and what this all means to every Caymanian. I'm going to not be having any jargon. No politics, just the facts based on this document that's in the public's domain in as plain of language as I can get it in the time that we're going to be allotted. And as always, you know, the phone lines will be open for your questions and your comments as we get to dissect this document. But around 5:30, I'll be having a representative from UCCI join me, because this is a weekend of culture and celebration. It is a long weekend here in the Cayman Islands, and we're going to be hearing 2 days, yes, of culture, music, dance, color, vibe. Yes, what I'm talking about? Culturama 2026, and hearing more about that. But please do remember that the content you're about to hear, including any discussions or opinions from myself, guests, and our participants, is intended solely for general informational and entertainment purposes. It's not a substitute for professional legal, medical, or financial advice. I encourage you to consult with a qualified professional for specific concerns. Now, Bridge Media Limited and all its affiliates disclaims all liability for any decisions or actions taken in reliance on the information presented. And like I said, you can join in live, participate in this discussion, in this live broadcast. We are broadcasting live from 5 until 7 p.m., Monday to Friday, right here. You can join in, like I said, by calling 936-8255 to be a part of the discussion. I love your feedback. Definitely. I like when you participate. It doesn't make me feel so lonely. Not at all, which I know I'm not. A lot of you look at me, you tune in every day, once we're live, and you may not comment live, but I know you're here and you're getting the message, and I appreciate you whether or not you comment, because I'm definitely getting your feedback, and thank you so much. It means a lot to me. But before going into the speaking to our guests, let's take a look at the weather report, the weather forecast, that compliments of our friends there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. Just taking us right into it. The synopsis is calling for light and variable winds are expected to continue for the next few days due to a weak pressure gradient across the Northwest Caribbean. Now, localized showers are possible during the afternoons due to light winds coupled with daytime heating. And satellite imagery shows scattered clouds across the Cayman area. Now, the forecast for tonight is calling for mainly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s and winds will be variable and light. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. And tomorrow's forecast is calling for mainly fair skies with a 20% chance of afternoon showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index of near 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be variable and light, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. There will be a high tide this evening at 7:46, a low tide at 1:50 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sun will set this evening at 6:51 and sun will rise tomorrow morning at 5:51 a.m. Now, the outlook, my friends, is calling for moderate winds and seas by Saturday as a high pressure system builds over the eastern seaboard of the United States. There you go. And that is our weather for this evening. And we want to thank, like I said, our friends over there at the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. And I'm really loving your new website. Hey, Donnie, how you doing? Welcome. You're the first to comment this evening. You got any love to share with me this evening? Send them on through, because we're going into the news. Let's see what news is making our headlines this evening here on Sabrina Speaks. Starting with local news, His Majesty Cayman Islands Prison Service has confirmed that an incident at His Majesty Prison Northward on Monday, the 11th of May, resulted in injuries of 2 prisoners. Officers identified the incident and responded accordingly to establish security and medical protocol. Now, both prisoners were assessed by on-site medical staff, then transported to the Georgetown Hospital for further evaluation, treated, and returned to the facility. The matter has now been referred to the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. An official says that no further details will be released while the police investigation is underway. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has announced the phased rollout of body-worn cameras for frontline officers, with full implementation expected by the 31st of July this year. The move follows a 2-year pilot focused on international change management and ensuring the technology meets judicial requirements. RCIPS says the cameras will strengthen transparency, improve evidence gathering, and support public trust. Training is underway and further engagement sessions with media and community partners will be held in the coming weeks as the rollout progresses. The Cayman Islands government representative to the United Kingdom, Dr. Tasha Ebanks Garcia, attended this year's Royal Garden Party at Buckingham Palace. She was joined by Julie Campbell, Deputy Representative for Financial Services to Europe, for what officials described as a memorable afternoon. The event also provided an opportunity for engagement with colleagues from across the overseas territories, highlighting ongoing diplomatic and intergovernmental connections. In other local news this evening, Day one of the Caribbean Desalinations Association's 2026 biennial conference is underway in Grand Cayman, with Water Authority Cayman serving as a platinum sponsor alongside Cayman Water. More than 100 regional water sector professionals are attending the three-day event held under the theme, The Nexus of Water, Energy, and Environment. Now, today's opening featured remarks from senior Cayman Islands officials and the utility panel discussion, Resilience and Customer Service. Sessions continue this week, including climate adaptation, innovation in desalination, and tours of local waterworks facilities. We turn our attention this evening to news that are making our regional headlines. And we start this evening, ladies and gentlemen, with Trinidad and Tobago. Yes. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has introduced new laser speed enforcement devices capable of detecting speeding motorists from inside police vehicles. The technology was launched on Tuesday as part of activities marking the end of the United Nations Road Safety Week. Officials says the upgraded equipment is intended to strengthen traffic enforcement and support ongoing efforts to reduce road traffic injuries and fatalities across the country. We turn our attention this evening to Jamaica, as Jamaica's Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, let me remove this, sorry. There we go, that's better. Jamaica's Health Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, says that the government will assess the impact of social media on the health of the population. The announcement comes amid growing concerns globally about how online platforms influence mental and physical well-being, particularly among young people. Dr. Tufton says the review will help guide future policy decisions as the ministry continues to examine factors affecting public health. Now over to the Bahamas. In the Bahamas, Prime Minister Philip E. Davis and the ruling Progressive Liberal Party have secured a decisive victory in the 2026 general elections. Now, the results marks a historic milestone, making Davis the first Bahamian leader in nearly 3 decades to win a second consecutive term in office. The PLP's win reinforces its political mandate as the country prepares to advance its priorities for the new term. Over across the pond in the United Kingdom, but that's not all. We're going to Italy because the Princess of Wales has arrived in Reggio Emilia, Italy, where she was welcomed by Mayor Marco Mazzori. Local officials say more than 1,000 people gathered to meet her as she began her visit. While on this trip, she will be learning about an education philosophy developed in Reggio Emilia that focuses on helping children express themselves more effectively. Now, as she begins a series of engagements highlighting the approach, which was recognized internationally for its emphasis on creativity, communication, and child-centered learning. The trip marks another step in her gradual return to public engagements, with the princess expected to take part in a series of scheduled activities during her time in the region. And we see where other news making this evening that the Trump administration is suspending a visa bond requirement for confirmed World Cup ticket holders, according to the Associated Press. Now, the State Department program introduced last year required applicants from 50 countries to pay bonds of $5,000, $10,000, and $15,000 when applying for a U.S. visa. Now, 5 of those countries, Algeria, Cabo Verde, Côte d'Ivoire, and Senegal, have qualified for the World Cup, an official says. Further updates on the policies are expected as the situation develops. And as we know more, because I know a lot of you are going to want to go to that, you football lovers, we will keep you posted with all of those events that are happening as well. Yes, yes, yes. There you have it. No markup today for the business roundup this evening, so pardon me for that. We will be back on schedule tomorrow. But that concludes our news segment for this evening, right here on Sabrina Speaks, keeping you up to date and abreast with all that is happening. Welcome, welcome, one and all. It's good to have you join me here this evening. We thank and we want to acknowledge our subscribers and our new followers as well for liking and sharing our page. Yes, we appreciate you. And I can tell you what, I respect your privacy. In the sense where, do we want to post everybody that likes us? If you want that, yeah, fine. But I'm letting you know, I appreciate it. I see you. And we are definitely feeling the love over here and what we're doing. And we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to one and all. It's a pleasure to be here with you. All of you joining us for the first time. It's good to have you here with us this evening as we look and navigate life and learn. Yeah. Happy birthday to anyone who's celebrating a birthday today. From all of us here on the Sabrina Speaks family, we want to let you know that we see you, we love you, we appreciate you, and we celebrate this milestone for you. You could be celebrating life or an anniversary. We're sharing the love as well. And as we see what's coming in here from my lovely ladies, I see you guys. We getting our flowers of the day from our 2 stars, Miss Dawn and Connie Bonnie. She was early. Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. Now you see it, my friend. By content creators, boy, you guys are doing it. Thank you so much. What is this last one, Dawn? Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna do not send no scientific memes here because I'm gonna slaughter them for you. Good evening. And also for those who are mourning the loss of a loved one, our thoughts and prayers go out to you all as you navigate this difficult time. And I want to publicly acknowledge. Hold on. Why am I not getting this? Just bear with me 1 second. We want to acknowledge and publicly, and we send condolences out to the family of Mr. Ian Boxall. He was a respected attorney, a jurist, and a philanthropist, and one of the early architects of the Cayman Islands financial services and definitely the legal field as well. Now, he's passed away. Our sources tell us that he died on May 11th at 82, and Mr. Boxall will be remembered significantly the Cayman Islands for all of his contributions, like I said, to the development of the jurisdiction, legal and financial framework, and his long-standing service to the community overall. Now, personally, my sincere condolences from my entire family, including the family extension in the BRAC, Linda, and all of her family, goes out especially to Joanna and Simon Boxall and to your immediate and extended families as well. But more so from this public platform, we want to share and send our love and condolences to you all right there. And again, this is by extension to all of those who are mourning the loss of a loved one. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. But Mr. Boxall is known here. He's made Cayman his home. And his kids as well chose Cayman. You can't tell them anywhere else is home but right here. And our thoughts and prayers are with you all. Good evening, caller. You're live on Sabrina Speaks.
I'm shouting out a happy birthday to my sister-in-law today, Diane Martinez. May God bless her to see many more.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing that, Miss Diane.
I'm not going to say her age, but today's her birthday.
Okay.
So.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Cool. Thank you, Michelle.
More coming up, but August.
Yeah, we know.
Then mine in August.
There we go. So you'll call us as that. You got a department locked.
Another sister-in-law and another brother-in-law, but whatever.
Yeah, no worries. We're here. Thank you for sharing it. A little later. There we have it. I'm just uploading the pictures of the day. And as we gather up here, ladies and gentlemen, yep. So we got Connie and, oops, I doubled up that one. Connie was first to class with sharing her pictures today. her orchids, right? Is that what it is, right, Connie? I'll leave it to me. Okay, here we go. Connie Bonnie is sharing that beautiful orchid with us today. And yeah, Connie is just sharing her flowers of the day. We can leave it like that. But that one's an orchid. And I don't know what this one is. But this is an orchid too? Yeah. Well, okay, good. Yes. Thank you so much. So these are flowers of the day, compliments of Connie Bonnie in the house as well. And Donnie is sharing her love as well. This one is another one. Thank you for us for sharing the love there, hoping that that brightens everybody's day. And Miss Dawn, this is a lovely, Dawn, what is this? What is that one? Oh my. Yeah. We're going to have Dawn. I know she's afraid and she don't want to talk. She don't want to talk. But Dawn shares these flowers with us, and she has a nursery, a plant nursery. So we want all of these pictures. I'm quite sure that Donnie is sharing with us. If you see any of these flowers, I'm quite sure you can visit her nursery and you can get your hand on some of these beautiful flowers that Dawn has been sharing with us here. Now, I'm not gonna tell you it's the same thing with Connie Bonnie. You must be want her to run you. But I'm quite sure Donnie would be more than happy to let you know what her flowers are. And here's one. That is from Miss Dawn. That looks like an orchid too. And here's another one from Dawn Watler. Yeah, something Valley Gardens. Please tell me what it is again, Miss Dawn, the name of the plant nursery. Yes. And these are all flowers there. And I'm quite sure if you see anything here that you love, Dawn would be more than happy to source them or definitely share the love with you as well. But I can't see Connie letting go any of hers. See? Oh, Connie, you must have heard me. You must have heard me. I put up the disclaimer. I said, I know it's not Donnie, not Connie Bonnie. She not gonna be selling anything. OMG. See, I know you, I know you like a book. You're not gonna get rid of yours at all. We know that, my love. We know that. You just love them too much. You love them too much. Connie, I don't want to set you up, but how did I figure that one out? How did I figure that one out? You think I don't know you? Yeah, but this is a long weekend, Cayman. Remember, Bracknell is going on this weekend. The bulk waste cleanup continues as well in Georgetown. And yeah, we want you to know we're going to be telling you more about remember the tea party as well? The tea party for our little ones are coming up. Did you actually go and register if you want to show your interest there? So all of those little ones who wants to go out and do, oops, what did I do? Look here. Okay. There we go. There, the tea party is on Saturday the 16th at the Marriott, and the spaces are limited. So if you want to attend this, you got to go on an RSVP because you don't want to get those little ones all dolled up and then you get disappointed because there are no more spaces. So you want to make sure you do that. Also, remember, featured yesterday is the Island Harvest Community Collaboration Project that's ongoing right now. And we want to thank Leadership Cayman, all of the corporate sponsors that made this happen, Jake Scott's, the community garden there, Mr. Fabian, the dancing police. There will be, if you got a pound of fresh produce that you just actually deliver, there are 4 sites that you can deliver these, and then they're going to bag them up and they're going to take them, expand them straight out all over the island, deliver to our seniors and those persons in need. This is a huge class project of Leadership Cayman 2026. And the big day is on the 16th. You can go and you can purchase produce and you can drop them off at Hamlin's Farms Market, the farmers market here, the Cayman Community Farm in Newlands, also at Cayman Cabana and at Thatch and Barrel out at Pedro are the drop-off locations. Now, even though the event is going on from around 8 o'clock until 1, you can still drop off these. Now, Kim and Brack, you're not left out. Please remember that. You're not left out of this at all. because you can drop off at Pioneer Bakery. That was stated by Luigi, and they will make arrangements as well in order to collect those produce from over there. So lots are going on. We know, like we said, Bracanal is happening. Culturama is happening here as well, 2 nights, but we're going to get some representatives here telling us about that event at the Harkwell Theatre. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, but I won't share too much about that because I want them to promote that. They're going to be here just going into it more with us in a few moments. Yes, Don, thank you for letting us know that. It's Green Valley Nursery. So Don has Green Valley Nursery here in the Cayman Islands. You can go down there and you can see what is going on there. So, yep. As we see our guests slowly coming, we will actually have them join us in a few moments. I see you. Wake Up Cayman. It's good to have you with us this evening. Andrew, hi, good evening. Blessed Cayman, he's saying. It's good to have you here as well. Damien is in the house. Good evening, all. Long-term success is the result of relationships built on a foundation of trust. People get more value for those they trust. You're quite right. Thank you so much, Damien Henry. You sending us that cool temperatures from the UK and staying up late with us tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, come on, Miss Dawn. That's what Connie is saying. Get with it. Thank you, Connie, for clarifying. Both of Connie's flowers today were orchids. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, please. I love you, girl. I love you. Do not even think about it. Mm-hmm. Hi, Wake Up Cayman. It's good to have you with us. Yes. It's good to have you with us. And put you in the back one little bit. There we go. So be with you. Yes, it's good to have you. We had hailstorms today here in the UK. Keep it. Oh my goodness. You had hailstorms. Keep it. We can send you warmth. You keep it. Even though I don't mind a little nor'westers every now and again. But oh gosh, it's May, for God's sakes. What are you guys doing with that type of weather? I saw a blogger, a content creator who was just, he's like, I didn't sign up for this. Of course, his accent and the words were quite comical. He said if he had signed up for living in Antarctica, he didn't sign up for that. It's bloody May, but it was funny. It's funny. I just like that guy. He's cool. Hey, Miss Dorothy, how you doing? Where's North Carolina love today? And Aliano's late to class. Wonder what he's up to, giving some trouble. But Miss Dorothy, it's good. It's good to have you with us, my sweet. And it's good to have all of you here. Remember, the phone lines will be open. 936-8255 as we continue to showcase, highlight, and prepare for the long weekend that's coming. Yeah, because it continues as we continue to celebrate here. Bracanal Culture Day as well. And then we got the Human Library out at Georgetown Public Library. We got so much, and we're going to have representatives telling us more about this because I know some of the members bad. Yeah, some of the members is bad, just like mine. But we're not going to make you miss out on this. We're going to make sure we keep you up to date with all that's happening. And we make sure that we can share all of the pertinent information, get the people who got the connect to tell us as well so that you don't miss out. And you know what I want to encourage all of us to do for all of these events? Please make sure you all wear your pride and wear your shirts. Wear those Caymanian colors so you really show the love of who we are as Caymanian people. Remember, we're celebrating for the entire month. And we already heard the unfortunate statistics about our percentage and our numbers. Well, you know what? Because we are low in numbers, that's why you want to be branded, to let them know who we are. And where you go, you show that Cayman pride, loud and strong and bold and proud wherever you go. Yeah, I want us to do that. So yeah, we're going to be hearing more about that as our guests join us and make their way into our virtual studio here this afternoon, because we're excited when we get guests. You know that. And I know Anna like him too. Aye, North Carolina love just hit town. Looking at him. Oh, he reached. You, I'm going to put you in timeout because between you and Miss Brenda, yes, Miss Brenda, I got pull you out. You think I didn't see it through the corner of my eye yesterday, but I got to take the bait. Oh, Marshall, you don't know what you just started. Like I said, Halloween is a long way away. Anyhow, that could be forgotten. But summer is here too. So it's good to have you here with us. Nevertheless, Marshall, you are so much trouble. And it's amazing how much messages I got after you throw that bait out. Marshall, you brute, you are something else. Yeah, I got a number of messages saying, just tell me when, just tell me when. I definitely go log on. I'm like, really, guys? Really? Really? That way I don't want me to go now. So, Marshall, it's good that we had that lighthearted moment there. Miss Brenda picked up too, she picked up on the foolishness. And you just went along with it, but I never paid none of y'all no mind because, yeah, that's what we love about here. Just let me know when you're ready. If you want to give a thumbs up to get started, just signal me whenever you're ready, and I'll be more than happy to bring you in. But in the meantime, we will definitely let you guys know and keep you up to date. Now, Kim and Brack, if you are seeing, let me see here. I did have an update here for my people over there in the BRAC because we know it's hurricane season and Public Works will be conducting in the BRAC, in the Sister Islands. They will be conducting their annual hurricane shuttering exercise that is going to take place this Friday, the 15th of May, beginning at 7 a.m. Now, the work includes, you know what this is. We do this every year, but we still got to make you know. The work includes installation of shutters on government-owned buildings across Cayman Brac and Little Cayman as part of the seasonal preparedness efforts. And what you will notice during this exercise is that the Public Works Administrative Office will be closed. Normal business hours will be scheduled to resume at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday the 19th. So if you see all of the PWD workers out there and they're shuttering up, no, you didn't miss a broadcast to say, well, oh my gosh, tropical system is coming. This is our preparedness. Anybody who's here should know what that is all about. So hint, hint. If you see those activities going on, we know that you're going to get extra traffic over there this weekend because of Brackenow. So just don't be caught off guard with what's happening on the civil service side of things. And the men there are going to be busy, but the buildings will be reopened as usual on Tuesday because we have a long weekend here. Yeah, excited. Hey, Miss Gladys, how are you? Watching from? Yeah. Oh, really? Nice. Thank you so much, Miss Gray, for joining us. See, I tell you, we're not limited here. We're not limited at all. We reach near and far. UK, New York, Long Island, New York is in the house. Thank you so much. Definitely showcasing you here on the Sabrina Speaks platform. And we're sending you tropical love because I know even though you have hot days there, it can still have cool nights, but nothing beats true tropical wind and atmosphere from all of us here. And we are celebrating who we are as people and loving every moment of it. Yes. And we, again, at any point during this conversation or the discussions, although we'll be promoting this event, letting you know we'll be sharing a lot of information coming up in a couple of minutes. The phone lines will be open, 936-8255. I see you. I'm coming. The phone lines will be open to take your comments. Just be cognizant of the time. And the only thing I ask is that you keep on topic so that oh Lord, look at who we just unearthed. That you keep on topic. And be respectful. Look at who just popped in, the one, the only Cameron. Okay, what going on now? Black traffic, lights don't work. Just go on through. Oh my God, Cameron, Cameron, where have you been? OMG. They put out all sorts of APB and boy, you answered. Oh my God. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a minute, but you're back. Darn right. We're loving every bit of who we are. There we go. The one, the only Cameron. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get, because we have our guests here as we highlight and showcase this section of our show. And we're so, so happy to have joining us this evening to tell us more about Culturama 2026 that takes over the Harkwell Theater for not only one night, but 2 spectacular nights of artistic expression. And yes, this is a long weekend here in the Cayman Islands. I'm talking about Saturday, May the 16th from 7 p.m. and on Sunday evening, May 17th from 6 p.m. They're going to be celebration continues into the second evening, and both nights are going to be filled. We want that, we want it filled to capacity, and we want you to support UCCI Dance Group, Dance Company, and the Cayman Islands National Cultural Foundation, and the Ministry of Education and Training. We got all of our sponsors on board as well. But you know what? I am going to make our guest tell us more. There is a cost, though. Tickets are $25, and you can go on Eventpro for this and if you want to enjoy this experience. So, yes, without thumbs up, you give me a thumbs up. We're good? Yeah? Okay, let's go. Let me bring our guests in the studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Tanissa, good evening to you, my sweet. How are you?
Good evening, Sabrina. I'm wonderful, and good evening to your audience as well.
It's so good to have you joining us. Let's see if Mr. Glenn, just give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I'm hearing you.
I'm ready. Can you hear me? Oh, good.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic.
A black screen, but we can hear you. That's all that matters, I guess, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. It's a pleasure to have both of you join us now. I know, Mr. Glenn, you are going to be telling us about the event, the 2 evenings spectacular event that's coming up. And Miss Tanissa is more broad. We're going to just milk her for all that's coming up for the weekend and the rest of the month as we celebrate who we are as Caymanians and our heritage. But Mr. Glenn, it is it's a pleasure to have you on here to help us showcase, highlight, inform. And if people didn't know this was going on, tell us what's happening, because this is 2 days of a spectacular event that's happening. And you're from UCCI, one of the key partners in helping to bring this event to life. Tell us more. Hello?
Thank you so much for having us. Can you hear me?
Yes,
oh,
yeah.
I'm so delighted to be given the opportunity to come and talk about this most incredible show that is about to hit our cultural platform here in the Cayman Islands. We've got 2 shows on one on Saturday and one on Sunday, and it's really a celebration of all the different aspects of culture that we see in the Cayman Islands today, told through the media of dance, of music, people playing on instruments. We've got steel pan, we've got the UCCI pandemic steel pan, as well as the UCCI dancers. There are going to be at least 11 different dance items on display. Phenomenal costumes, phenomenal choreography. 3 of the items are being choreographed by our own young UCCI dancers as well. So this is a new development for us, giving the stage to students to show excellence in the performing arts. This is something we're very proud of at UCCI. One thing we really see is that our students are really talented, and we don't always give them an opportunity to shine and for people to see how wonderful they are.
Right.
And so this is why they're so delighted to be partnering with the ministries just for this particular one. And it's just going to be a celebration of excellence, celebration of wonderful culture, very, very high levels of performance, some amazing talent on display from UCCI. Particularly, we've got some alumni from UCCI performing as well, and this is something which we're very, very proud of. Mr. Earl Lapierre is going to be in charge of the Steel Pan group, so we've got something there for everybody's taste. Different genres, there's even a wonderful dance piece I've seen that's very much modern dance as well. We have some things by the late Rex Nettlefoot as well. Some just wonderful pieces. And last year, many people were saying, "Oh my goodness, we didn't know we had this level of talent here in the Cayman Islands of participating in this show." And it's very fast paced, and it's just wonderful. You won't see the time going by. It's about sort of 2 to 2.5 hours of pure, wonderful performances through dance and music.
Now we know that events
So-
like this without sponsors could not be possible. And I'm seeing where some of your sponsors are Ollie, the Ministry of Education, Training, Davenport, Development. We even got Barnes Bus Transport. How did these partnerships come together? Because we understand their role. Obviously, they see the importance as well.
I can tell you something, we couldn't do this without them. And this is one thing the Cayman Islands community is amazing at. These different partnerships are the medium through which many of these events actually do happen. And it's something that we really are very proud of because it's happened organically. Over the years, we've basically been showcasing what we do, and people come to us and say, gosh, we really like what you do. We'd really like to sort of explore the synergies between what the different parties do. And this is how it's been made possible, really. Without the support, this wouldn't be happening to this kind of level. And so we're very proud of these partnerships, and they're going to grow. There's no question about it. And we really give a lot of credit to all these different partners who've come on board to help us make this a reality. And really, many of them believe in our young people, and that is why a lot of this is actually happening as well. I think they think the young people need to be supported. We need to show excellence amongst the young people in the arts as well. And many of them begin to realize, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that this experience can be so fulfilling. They learn so many things through the performing arts, through performance. It's amazing. You wouldn't get this anywhere else. We try to explain to them there's more than just academics. More than just getting your GPA to be very high. It really helps you to explore certain parts of your character and your makeup that you didn't know existed before.
Correct.
So we are very, very thrilled with it.
Now we see where there are 2 nights. There is, of course, show 1 happening Saturday, 7 p.m. What can the audience expect happening from night 1? Will it be the same pieces? Will one night show something else and the other night a total different experience, or is it the same both nights?
We have exactly the same both nights, and the reason why it's on 2 nights, we can't accommodate up to 600 people in one night at the Hartwell Theatre. So some people decide to come both nights because it's just so exciting. It's like watching the same movie twice and seeing different things the second night because you thought you missed certain things that you just were so focused on some other aspect of the performance. And so you come the second night and say, oh, I missed that. I missed that particular dance. I didn't see they were doing that because I was focused on this other dancer, for example. So that's something which you will probably benefit from coming both nights. But one thing we normally find is people can't make Saturday, but they can make Sunday. Some people can make Sunday, can't make Saturday, for example. And the wonderful thing is Monday's a public holiday. So, the fact... Exactly. So if young people want to come to it, they're very, very welcome. And one thing we're also doing for the schools is we have 2 shows, one tomorrow and one on Friday, because we really believe we need to make this accessible to all the school children on the island. So at 10:30 tomorrow, so 10:30 tomorrow and 10:30 on Friday, they're being bussed in. And literally every school has been contacted, and they have selected students that they feel are going to really benefit from the experience. So isn't that exciting?
Yes, it is.
There's no such thing as outreach. So again, and we really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk about it. It's really great.
Sure. Without giving away too much, are there any standout moments or surprises that you think will really resonate with the audience this weekend?
I think one thing will really resonate with our young audiences, particularly, is this one modern piece I've seen, modern dance. It's amazing. Choreographed by one of our own students. Yes. I looked at that and I thought they are going to go wild when they see that. Because it's almost, it's speaking their language, right? Because I looked at it and I thought, this is very different to what we would normally do, when things are choreographed by the generation above them. So this is great. This is really exciting. And it's a natural expression of what is relevant to our young people today. And that's something which I'm really looking forward to as well.
Well, if you can share with us some logistics and tickets, how people can get their tickets for each night, just share with that. Can you
Some people
share?
can go to yes, event Pro. They can get tickets on Event Pro. They can also get tickets at the door as well. But it's something that we really are looking forward to, welcoming as many people who are able to come as possible.
Okay, there we go. Well, if there's any
So just
additional
come along.
information,
We'll accommodate you.
sure, yeah. You know, but beyond the entertainment of Culturama, you know that has strong educational value. And I'll just ask you this one before I let you go, or to just do a wrap up. How does this event overall just support the literacy and creative development here in Cayman? Because I think people come just looking to be entertained, but it's much bigger and deeper than that.
Way deeper. Some of the stories that they're telling through performing arts are just so deep, so thought-provoking. And I'll tell you something, tomorrow for the children's shows, we're incorporating a Q&A for 15 minutes at the end of the show to enable the children to ask the questions that have been raised by what they have seen. Because there's always going to be certain things, certain compelling and thought-provoking things that they're actually going to witness and experience. And they will inevitably have questions.
Of course. Yeah.
And this is because last time when we did this, they had all these questions, but there was no outlets. There are no outlets to act for the kids who are coming. So that's the educational component that we're really looking forward to seeing.
Wow, I'm just so happy, because if we're trying to learn about who we are as culture or heritage, so this is a wonderful event. And it also can give those children that opportunity as well, to connect with their heritage and identity, all in art form. So there are lots of takeaways.
Incredible takeaways. And like I say, many people don't know what they're missing until they see it, if that makes sense. So for example, you go to the show, you think, oh my goodness. I
think we lost you there.
I didn't realize this is what the show was all about. So something like that, people maybe. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I am now.
Yes. Okay. Oh, great. So I was saying, when they come to the show, they will basically come and see things that they never really thought they were going to expect to see those particular things. So I say to people, come to the show, come with an open mind, and expect yourself to be wowed. Because even I was wowed, and I'm one of the teachers there.
There we go. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Glenn, for taking the time out of your afternoon. I can hear the excitement building in your voice, and you've definitely got me. Like, you know how Caymanians are. We fast. I want to see what this modern piece is all about, you know? You got me, got questions? Hello? Yeah, I think your connection there is, we're losing you for the connection.
Yeah.
Got you back now. You're back. Hello? Yeah, I think he's probably moving.
Yeah, I think we might have lost Glenn.
Yeah. Mr. Glenn, if you can dial us back in, if anything, but I think that was pretty much his wrap up. But excellent. Thank you for joining us, Glenn, if you're hearing me. And we will continue with the discussion, and I wish you a successful show. We'll continue here on this platform to promote the event as well. Thank you so much. And you now, Mr. Nissa. Yeah, we gonna milk you for what it's worth for the rest of the month.
But an amazing partnership with UCCI. I mean, they are going to do some amazing things this weekend. I can't wait. And as Glenn said, you know, they have an education part of it as well, where the schools are going to have their own private shows. So we're excited to be partnering with them this year.
Yeah. Let's catch up before we look forward, because there are lots going on, from a tea party to all the stuff that we have happening here. Let's catch up. How has it been going? Because we're mid-month already.
It has been tiring but exciting at the same time. We're just back from Cayman Brac. We went over there to do our family fun day on Saturday, as well as and a gospel concert on Saturday night. And Sunday we went to church in the Brac. So the Brac was not left out. We did we did our services over there. We were able to carry some of the excitement and joy and share with that community over there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Emancipation Weekend was a busy weekend for us as well, with the event out town, as well as our church service, which was held this year at the John Gray Memorial Church, which was an amazing service. We were so grateful and thankful that they were able to bring in the services this year.
Okay. And what is there? There is a long weekend coming up, and I have some of the image here, one of the flyers for sure, because I know, and I need you to elaborate on this, because you know us, we just like to show up. But there's a reason why you're being asked to RSVP for this event, meaning you let them know that you have an interest and you want to participate because there is limited space. Tell us more about the upcoming Children Tea Party.
There is limited space. So one of the things in Cayman, we always have had garden parties and tea parties. That's part of our culture and heritage as well. So we wanted to introduce our young people to that, particularly with it being Child's Month. We've partnered with the Department of Children and Family Services to offer something unique and bespoke for the young people in this community. So for children ages like 7 and up, their parents are encouraged to register for it, as well as to accompany their child to the tea party. So it's going to be a tea party, a couple little games, a couple little surprises as well. But, it starts at 1:30 and we anticipate being finished around 3 p.m., 3:30. Okay. People want to linger a little bit. But we encourage people to register. You can find the link via the ministry's page on social, whether it's Instagram or Facebook.
Okay. And here's a portion of the event. I have the other page as well, page 3. Just letting people know that we got the Bracanal Culture Day that's happening. You can start from the 14th. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, so we have, the Bracanal, we have Culture Day as well in Cayman Brac. On Saturday is the Bracanal Road March, as well as Saturday is a busy day. We start in Grand Cayman at 10 a.m. with the Human Library, as well as we have the Bracanal in Cayman Brac, and at 1:30 p.m. in Grand Cayman, we have the tea party. So it's a lot going on.
It is. And then, of course, Monday is a public holiday, which we can all appreciate.
Monday. So I think we will need to recover after another busy weekend.
Yeah. Now, what's in store coming up? I know as we get these flyers and all of the PR stuff, we definitely will share it and let people know.
Well, coming up, we have next weekend is the One Carnival, One Road, One Day, One Carnival, which is, something the ministry, we were able to broker that arrangement. So we're going to be on the road going in one direction, starting in Georgetown, ending on 7 Mile Beach with a concert afterwards. So we're excited about that, as well as we have, oh my goodness, what else do we have? On the 21st, we have a Flowetry night at the Cayman Collection Center. That is free to the public, and it's in West Bay at the location formerly known as the Car Museum.
Right.
So people are encouraged to come out and share their poetry, or just to come out and listen. So that is open to the public, and it's a free event. So we have quite a few things. And then, as well as we have the Cayman Drama Society will be starting with their show in the Heights as well in the last week of May. And closing it will be Art Week as well. So it is a month full of activities, and it would not have been possible without all of our culture partners who came on board and who have partnered with us and who understand the vision of creating a month to celebrate keeping in line with this year's theme, which is Threads to Our Tradition. And it's been talked about earlier, dance just being one of those threads, expression through arts, oral history as well. So we've tried to hit all those different threads this year.
Okay. Well, Tanissa, thank you so much for sharing with us and for coming on and not only giving us some sort of highlights of all the events that have passed, definitely preparing us for what's coming forward. We'll continue to push it here on this space and reminding people what's coming up. And for all of you who are heading over to the Brac, I get my knee all ready to wrap up, but I can't make it this year.
And for those people who are staying in Grand Cayman, we invite you to come to the Georgetown Public Library at 10 o'clock We're going to have people like Miss Arthur Pedley, Mr. Rennie Barnes, Miss Joy Bastille, Miss Marge Quinlan. They're going to be serving as our books, so to speak, and it'll give you an opportunity to check them out, talk to them a little bit, and find out what life was like when they were younger and Cayman 20, 30, 50 years ago, and even 60 years ago. So what was life like back before we had the internet, before devices? What did people do when they were younger to entertain themselves, playing marbles, gigs, whatever it might be? So it's a great opportunity, and it's a free event open to the public.
Yeah.
And we've tried to really keep our events free as much as possible, or at a very minimum cost to the public. No,
And that is key. That's key, because no one should have any reason to say, well, I couldn't attend because it's my family of 3 or 4. We saw exactly how the gospel concert took off. Oh my goodness, that was huge.
That gospel concert. Hello. That we had well over 3,000 people at that. So, thank you to the public and every single person who showed up to that. Thank you. And you've just made our job harder. So now we say, well, how can we top that next year? And we have to maintain at that level.
Yeah.
So we've already been looking for an artist for next year.
Nice. Now, I know this is history in the making for 2026, because this is the first time we're going to be celebrating for an entire month. So for those of you who are like, oh my gosh, why didn't they kick off from the Friday night? Similar, like how we started off Pirates Week, maybe like a grand opening celebration. We can have some stuff in town, like what they did the Emancipation Day. Why didn't we start it off from the Friday and you go straight through the weekend? Look, this is a blank canvas. We're just getting started. And I heard, I got to keep on this, because I have to advocate and speak up for my Sabrina Speaks family. They're really hoping that you all can have a long weekend every weekend in this month, but people are looking for it.
I think our team will need time to recover, because we have been overtime for the entire month, but we absolutely love it. We love going out in the community, and really and truly, this bore from the community saying they wanted more opportunities outside of Pirates Week to celebrate and promote Caymanian culture and heritage. And so, our culture and heritage it takes so many different forms. It has many different threads. And here was an opportunity for us to partner with CNCF, the Cayman Art Week, UCCI, the National Museum, the National Gallery. There's so many people who work tirelessly throughout the year to promote Caymanian culture and heritage. Without them, this would not have been possible. And it's the first time we're doing it, and I can just see it continuing to grow from strength to strength. So we encourage people to come out to events this weekend yet again, and as well as the ones for the remainder of the month as well.
And you know what? This is an opportunity for our corporate persons who may not have jumped on board for 2026 to see what you were capable of pulling off in 2026. Now, can you imagine if we get even more corporate buy-in for 2027, what this month could look like, and the level, the quality, and even more entertainment that we could actually incorporate. So that appeal does not stop, even though the month may be coming to an end. The celebrations, as we highlight it for this month, we don't stop celebrating who we are, educating, informing, and letting people know where our culture and our heritage is all about, just because this month was dedicated to celebrate the entire month. This is happening all the time, and you can reach out to the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Heritage, and Culture. Culture and heritage. Oh Lord, I had a dyslexic moment there, but you get my point. Reach out to Ms. Tanissa. You want to jump on board to say, hey, we want to jump on board. I'm sorry, we just missed it for whatever reason. It wasn't budgeted for, but we definitely want to know what you got in store for next year. Let's get a start on it from now, so we can make that year the best year ever, even though this kicked it off.
Thank you so much. A lot of hard work went into it. It would, like I said, it would not have been possible without an amazing team in the ministry, as well as our amazing partners as well. Every single work to make this month an absolute success. And, we look forward to next year. I mean, we've set the bar really, really high, and the public has responded. So they have pretty much given us the go ahead to say, yes, these are the activities we want. Please put on more. Like I said, the gospel concert blew us away. Like, I was getting reports from people that there was a traffic advisory. Like, we shut it down.
Yeah. There was the RCIPS did a traffic advisory saying, look, the capacity is full. You need to spill over. Can you imagine? We hear that for agricultural show, but for, you didn't expect it. And we had the junior Badabanu that took place earlier on in the day, but yet look at the crowds that concert drew, that it attract.
It did. And so we're looking for, like I said, we've already started looking and brainstorming about who can we bring for next year, because, we've set a high standard. The audience expects this from us.
Nice.
And we're looking forward to the challenge as well. We love.
Nice. Well, there you go. When a country comes together, all the people come together for a common good. And I'm hoping that you all are seeing exactly what you expected or you envisaged to become of this month-long celebration, and that, it only motivates and encourages you even more to look forward for what's in store for 2027. So Tanissa, thank you so much for coming on and letting us know what has happened, what to look forward to, and continue to showcase and highlight as we celebrate a month long of who we are as Caymanian people.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Thank you for your support as well.
Sure, my pleasure. And anytime, if there's anything pop up, just jump on for 5-10 minutes. Sabrina Speaks is your home girl. Take care. Have a good evening.
Bye,
God bless. Bye-bye. We want to thank Ms. Tanissa and definitely our representative from the UCCI telling us about all the events that is happening this weekend. Ms. Tanissa is from the ministry, and she's just looking at it from a national perspective. And of course, one of the sponsors as well for Making Culturama that is going to be taking place this weekend. Yes, Saturday and Sunday, May the 16th and 17th at the Harkwell Theater. Tickets are $25 on eventpro.ky. So you want to go on and you want to purchase those tickets right now. We want to thank Mr. Glenn for sharing with us and telling us what all that to be expected. And for all of the students, guys, you're in for a treat tomorrow. Let's hope, those that are selected to go will appreciate exactly this opportunity that has been granted to you. And you've been selected by your school as ambassadors of your school to go and take in something that others have to pay for. So I hope you will understand and get the true meaning of what this means, celebrating who we are in culture and art, and that you be loaded with questions. So yes, thank you, Ms. Tanissa Barnes, the ministry, to all of those partners and sponsors to make this event happen. And we want to thank you all for understanding the importance of this here for our people, our culture, and who we are as Caymanians. Welcome, welcome, one and all. For all of you who are just joining us, this is Sabrina Speaks. I'm your host, Sabrina. And yeah, in this final hour of Sabrina Speaks, we get to the substantive topic here this evening, because what we're going to be going through is an understanding. There is a public document that is in the public's domain right here, and what we're going to be doing this evening. Hey, UK's in the house. The United Kingdom's in the house. Where's Harry? Harry's been quiet. Yeah, Harry's been quiet. What's up, Harry? We miss you. Or that cold got you locked in. Well, on this episode, for this final hour, we're going to be taking a deep and clear look into the Cayman Islands government's unaudited financial results for the first quarter of 2026. I need your full, undivided attention for this so that you will understand this is not background information where ESO, and I'll explain all of that, data is concerned. It's two different documents. This is a report that shows how much money the government collected, how much it spent, and what it costs to operate the country between January and March of 2026. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these numbers come straight from this document. And that, my friends, is the government's financial system, and from the chief financial officers across every ministry and statutory authority. And under the Public Management and Finance Act, this report that we have up here is something that, at the end of the day is in the public's domain for you to read and digest. And in accordance to the Public Management and Finance Act, these reports must be published every quarter in law. So now, like I said, what we did a show on yesterday, this is not the same as the ESO economics report. That ESO report tells us how the economy is performing. This report that we're going to be going through tells us how the government is performing financially. Two completely different things. So I encourage you to go get a cup of tea, whatever, because we're going to go straight into this, and I'm going to do my best to break it down to you. No spin at all, no politics, just clear information so all of you can understand what these numbers mean to you, your family, and the cost of running the Cayman Islands government. Okay? So I'm going to be, as I go through this document, I will be going through the slide one by one for you so that you can follow along with me, and it all makes sense, even if you have to realize, oh, you may have to zoom in on it for whatever reasons. So I'll be breaking this down in a consolidated format so that you can follow along with me. Some of the pictures and the grids, I will only speak to them. I will not be able to pull them up individually. So here you have the executive summary here on slide 5 that is on the screen. And that, my friends, is the big picture. And what this executive summary is saying is for the first 3 months of 2026, the Cayman Islands government here in this document recorded a surplus of $321.7 million. When you include the statutory authorities and government companies, the total surplus for the entire public sector was 328.1 million Cayman dollars. Now, that simply means, my friends, that the government collected more money than it spent during this period, and that the country's net assets now stand at $2.9 billion. That's 2.9 billion with a B, and government is holding over $722 million in cash, in liquid, by way and also and deposits. Now, that, my friends, is the money used to run the country day to day and to respond to any emergencies in the event that we have one. What this surplus was actually $58 million higher than what the 2026 budget had expected. And the main reason that government collected more revenue than planned, especially from what we're seeing in this report, such as fees and duties and other conservative revenues, which I'll explain what those are. At the same time, we're seeing in this report where personnel costs and supplies were lower than budgeted as well. But listen, that was only because of vacant posts and delayed projects. So not everything came under budget. Let me just make it clear. Payments to statutory authorities, non-government suppliers, and transfer payments, which we'll get into those as well. Things like scholarships and social assistance were all higher than expected. So when we compare this year to the same period last year, we see where revenues, monies that government's taken in, are up by more than $70 million, while the expenses only rose by about 11 million. And that's why the surplus is shorter this year. And what this report does, it signals a caution. It signals a caution that some of the savings we see may not last for the full year. Vacancies eventually will get filled, and delayed projects could possibly move forward. So at the end of the day, it means that the country is financially stable at the moment. And what it means in this report for this first quarter is that government has strong cash reserves now, but it also means that the cost of running the Cayman Islands, the cost of running our country, continues to rise. And that we see the demand for public services, especially in social support, is increasing. And over the remainder of this show, I'm going to break that down for you so that we can understand exactly what this is. So pretty much that was what the executive summary was saying in somewhat of a nutshell to make it all make sense. At the beginning, you heard me talk about coercive revenue. That is here on the screen, and you see a pie chart as well. That, my friend, is the money the government collects, like I alluded to earlier on, from fees, duties, and charges. What we see for the first quarter of 2026 in this document is that the government brought in $605.5 million in coercive revenue. And that's $35 million more than the budget expected, and $71 million more than the same period the year before. What this document is also saying is that the biggest driver of these increases was from the financial service industry. Remember all of those fees that and those legislation that the financial service was actually bringing to Parliament. Now we're seeing the fruits of that labor because it's reflected in these numbers. And what we're talking about is fees from the mutual fund administrators, private funds, exempted companies, and partnerships, all came in well above budget. And this, my friends, for clear understanding, is because more funds and more companies registered in Cayman than expected. And these fees are usually paid at the start of the year. You see, so where that gives us a bump start. And what we see also here in this is that real estate, property-related revenues also jumped. We saw stamp duty and land holding company transfer charges were higher in this report, partially because of the stamp duty rate increase from 7.5% to 10%. Remember, that took effect 1st of January. And partially because property values and transaction volumes remained high, and therefore it was captured into this first quarter as well. What we have to let you know is that not every revenue stream met the budget target, because we saw where import duty, such as motor vehicle licensing and work permit fees, were slightly below expectations. But compared to last year of 2025, import duty and work permit revenue were actually higher. I hope I'm seeing where this is all making sense and how it's adding up if you've been paying attention. Overall, in this first quarter report, this generated 13% more coercive revenue than the same period in 2025, which means we were still on the positive side. And most of the increases, as stated in this, came from domestic levies on goods and services from property-related charges. my friends, what this is telling us is that the financial service sector in the Cayman Islands is still strong. And what it also tells us as people is that they are spending more, they're also importing more, and they're paying more in duties. And it tells us that property prices and stamp duty bills also continue to rise. What this also tells us under this section is that these revenues, these monies that come into our government, to our country, is the exact monies that fund the operations of government. Everything from schools, healthcare, policing, and social support. So when coercive revenue is strong, the country in itself, my friends, has more financial stability. Where we should get a little concern is when we see it take a heck of a dip. Now we move on to what it says, foregone revenues. This section, my friend, goes on to tell us that this is another very important part of this report as well, because this is what government calls, this is the money that government could have collected, but they chose not to. They chose not to either because the law requires certain waivers, or that there are legislation that requires certain waivers, or because the minister has the discretion to grant some sort of relief should their ministry allow them to do that. And some of the waivers that we're seeing in this document here are automatic. For example, stamp duty waivers for first-time Caymanian property buyers are written into law. And if you meet the criteria, the government must grant that waiver to you. And the same applies to the second-time Caymanian buyers and certain concessions in Cayman Brac or sister islands. What we see now, whereas discretionary, are some other waivers. And these include discretionary, stamp duty on refunds, import duty waivers, and planning fee waivers. And my friends, these are granted on a case-by-case basis, depending on the circumstance. And what this first quarter report of 2026 is saying is that the government, our government, granted 189 waivers, with a total value of those 189 waivers of just over $3.08 million. Now, that is revenue that the government intentionally gave up to support maybe Caymanians buying property, to encourage development, or to provide relief in specific situations as they deem warranted. But it is important to understand that every waiver has a cost. And when revenues are foregone, we see that the government collects less money overall. And then guess what? That in turn affects how the country funds public services. And publishing these numbers, I'm hoping in these documents, if you take the opportunity to read it for yourself, it helps every single person, helps the public to see exactly how these decisions are made and what they cost everyone in this country when they're foregone. Okay? We see where there's a section here, it's called sales of goods and services. Now, we see two smaller but very important revenue categories here. And what these are is that the government earned $12.8 million from sales of goods and services in the first quarter. And
That's $1.6 million more than the budget expected, but about $1 million less than the same period last year. And my friends, what this is that these are fees collected when the government provides a direct service. And those includes things like inspections, certifications, or even the use of government facilities. And what these investment revenues came in, even though they came in much stronger, the government earned $6.3 million in interest and investment income, which is $3.4 million above the budget, as stated in this report. Now, what this is doing is that this is happening only because government is holding higher cash balances, and more of your money is being placed on deposit, which in turn is earning interest. So what this means, my friends, first, government services are still being used at healthy levels. Even if slightly lower than last year, what we're seeing, and the country's strong cash position then, with all of those balances in those bank accounts, is generating additional income. So our money that are in the bank is making money, which then helps reduce the need for borrowing. And what you think that does? That strengthens overall financial stability of our country. Yes. What we can see now as we jump on here to personnel costs, let's turn to two major spending categories. Yes, and we will go into that. Personnel cost and supplies and consumables. In this first quarter report, we are seeing where the government spent $131 million on personnel. Now that's $11.2 million less than the budget expected. Remember at the beginning on the executive summary, I said these savings didn't come from cuts. They came from vacant posts that were across several ministries and departments. And even with those vacancies, we're seeing where personnel costs are still $6.5 million higher than the same period last year. And what that is reflecting is salary adjustments, promotions, and increased benefit costs. We then skip on down then to supplies and consumables. That came in at $37.4 million, which is $11.6 million below budget. Now, the biggest savings were in professional services based on what the report is declaring. And what that is saying is only $2 million was spent against a budget of $5.4 million. And what that is telling us, my friends, is that at some projects and consultancy work have not yet started. So of course, it was untouched money. However, when you compare the figures for last year, supplies and consumables are still, listen to this, $3.4 million higher. And that is reflecting inflation and increased demand for services. What I notice is that the report makes one important point here. And the point that they're making is that these savings are only temporary. Because as the year goes on, guess what's going to happen? Vacancies are going to be filled. And what we're seeing, projects will come to a start. And guess what happened when those two things happen? Spending will move closer to the budget.
So, two things that you all must remember here. First, lower spending in these areas don't necessarily mean greater efficiencies. It often means delayed in hiring and delays in project delivery. And the second, the cost of running government, the cost of running the civil service continues to rise year over year, even when quarterly spendings appears lower than expected. Yeah. Now, another major part of government spending is what we call outputs, and that's right there in the middle of the screen. And what that is seeing is that what that means is that this is payments made to statutory authorities. Example, Health Services Authority, CIAE. You understand? Example, they're the big names. These are government companies and private sector providers to deliver public services, right? So what we call outputs, just in case you missed it, are payments made to statutory authorities, government companies, and private sector providers to deliver public services. And what we're seeing for the first quarter of 2026 is outputs from statutory authorities and government companies that total $59.7 million. And that's $3.7 million more than the budget expected. And most of that came from the Health Services Authority. And guess what? The spending on indigent care, geriatric services in this report exceeded the budget by more than $3 million, reflecting higher demand for health care among our vulnerable and elderly residents. Yeah. We're going to take a caller. Caller, good evening. You're live.
Hi, friend.
Hello. Please tell me you've been following.
I was just a little bit. But I hear you, and I hear you discussing, parts of this budget and truly trying to extrapolate, but not just extrapolate, but create a clear narrative and a picture of what's actually happening. And you made a statement earlier that you said, don't necessarily take these, budget cuts or savings, what appear on the surface to be savings, as a true reflection of what our position actually is. And you're absolutely right. So whatever the opposite of artificial inflation, as in, cooking your books to make it look better, that's how this feels to me. I want to remind the public that what hasn't seemed to be considered. If I recall correctly, I believe when this government took office, they agreed that they would kind of go into a moratorium on hiring in government, right? That also has an effect. That doesn't necessarily mean more efficiency. I mean, take into consideration work, for example, and the processing of work permits. We were told that some work permits, in some cases, that they were backlogged weeks. So I'm saying, are we actually saving money here, or is this smoke and mirrors? Well, and that's the problem that I have. And I'm not suggesting, and I'm not saying that it is. I'm only saying that I think that the people are owed a greater level of transparency, because what it looks like on the surface is that, for people who don't actually pull these reports and actually look into them and delve into them and get to the nitty-gritty and the minutiae of what is actually in these reports, it looks truly remarkable. But when you have to consider it in its totality, are we actually getting value? Are we actually getting value for money?
Well, I want to present the entire report, and then I can have my audience do that, because there are a lot of stuff that is unfunded and I've only reached outputs.
And I mean, there seems to be no consideration. I think, reminding the public that I think earlier, this year, or may have been last year, that the Minister of Health made a move that, would kind of rejig the way health insurance for indigents were considered. And we added the word medically indigent to the definitions, indicating that previously, if people understand that the true meaning of indigent, it's basically inability to afford your basic needs. And adding the term medically indigent meant simply put that you couldn't afford health insurance. What are the projections if you've gotten that far? What are the projections for what those costs will look like? Have those types of things being accounted for? Because
it's funny that you asked that question, because I'm just delivering the report so that we know what's costing the country for the first quarter. When you look at the labor force survey that is collecting data now that will come about, is why it's important for us to put these two together. Because if people were following my episode yesterday and why it was important, and here I am delivering real numbers to today of what it took to run for the first quarter of 2026, people will get an idea that we're not heading down a sustainable path. But I don't want to go ahead of it before I present it. I don't want it to go ahead before it's presented.
That's how I kind of felt that, we made these grandiose projections, and I can personally tell you, I congratulated the minister for, almost tripling, making a prediction or a projection of a tripling what we thought the surplus was going to initially be. Now, what I don't want to hear at the end of all of this, after we have been promised that, we're going to make spending cuts, we're going to make budgetary cuts, and we're going to pull back here and we're going to pull back there. I don't want all of this now to be all of this frivolous spending, in my opinion, increasing this one's salary, increasing that one's salary, increasing the constituency budget, employee salary, doing this, doing that. I don't want this to now all come down to the war in Iran. And it's so easy to just throw blame onto that. Also, bear in mind that the government just also undertook to waive, we don't know for how long, but it's to the tune of $9 million plus, just undertook to waive duty on fuel. And I believe that the overall impact of that.
While pensions remain underfunded. But can I ask you to stick a pin there? Let me just deliver this, because I can show you. We're going to continue this tomorrow because it's 6:33. But I want you to either go back and hear me present it this evening, and then I welcome all of your feedback tomorrow. Let me present it in its entirety. Okay? Appreciate it.
I'll be here.
Thank you, my love.
You're welcome.
All right. There we go. So so that we can deliver this, and then of course you can do your comments as we go along. But I want to deliver this to you because, as the caller rightfully said, how much people really go through these reports to make it make sense? That's why I'm taking the opportunity to deliver it for you. Unbiased, real facts. I'm only delivering in layman's terms what this report is saying, which is why I felt it was important for me to have it projected on the screen, as I'm pretty much just consolidating it down and putting it in layman's terms. But what I'm saying is what's in the document, not my summarization of it. I'm just regurgitating what is in this document, but in bite-sized pieces. But you can go back and fact check everything that I say, and then we can discuss some of the realities that is in this document, okay? And you can give your perspective on what you think as well. Andrew is saying here, increase in the population, whether Caymanian or non-Caymanian, means more funding necessary for public spending to address the needs of the people. Generating revenue to meet the demands when there is no forms of new mechanism or export manufacturing here in the Cayman Islands means we're heading towards taxation. Stick a pin right there. Let me continue to deliver the report. There's a reason why I want to deliver the report. Andrew, you opening a Pandora box, you're opening a door. But let's hear more of what is contained in the report. Outputs. Outputs, as you've seen here, is from non-governmental suppliers. Also came in, as outlined in this report, higher than expected. Higher than expected because we saw where the outputs reaching $23.3 million. And that's about $5.1 million above the budget. The biggest driver was tertiary medical care at local and overseas institutions. This category alone costs $14.1 million the first quarter, which is $3.3 million more than planned. What this means, my friends, is that it's telling us, as we already know, I've been screaming it from the mountaintops, but let me just deliver the report. It's telling us that healthcare demand is rising sharply. More people are relying on the government for medical support, especially indigent patients, elderly residents, and those who need specialized treatment overseas. And these costs are not optional. They are essential services that government must provide. But they also place significant pressure on the national budget. Remember when I pointed it out that the Minister for Finance cautioned the country. Go back to the parliamentary when this budget was being presented. Honorable Ralston Anglin cautioned the country. So as we continue to go through this report, what will be very obvious that you will see healthcare remains one of the largest and fastest growing areas of government spending. Bottom line. Let's look then at performances under statutory authorities and these transfer payments, right? These are another major part of government spending. And these payments are made directly. Yes, these payments, these transfer payments are made directly to individuals, either individuals directly or organizations. And things like scholarship, bursaries, and financial assistance. For the first quarter of 2026, we see here in this document that these transfer payments totaled $28.6 million, which is $8 million more than the budget expected. And the biggest drivers were scholarships and bursaries, which cost $12.7 million. And we see where financial assistance, which cost $8.9 million. Now, both of these categories, as declared in this report, exceeded their budgets. And what they reflected is a higher demand from students and from families who were seeking or needing support. But interestingly, even though the spending was above the budget, it was still $6.8 million lower than the same period last year, which may be due to timing difference or changes in the program delivery. Okay? Now we're going to turn our attention into the performance and our statutory authorities and our government companies, the SAGCs. And what we're seeing here in this document is that they recorded a combined operating surplus. Okay? They recorded a combined operating surplus of $6.3 million for the first quarter. Now, that is $7.4 million better than the budget, which had projected a deficit. Cayman Airways, the Airports Authority, the Monetary Authority, and the Port Authority all performed better than expected, while the Water Authority recorded an unfavorable variance. And what this means in this report, my friends, is two things. First, more Caymanians are relying on scholarships and financial assistance, which shows both increased opportunities and increased needed. And what we see, secondly, is the strong performance of key public authorities that should help stabilize government finances and reduce pressure on the national budget. But my friends, what this is actually saying is that as of March of 2026, the government had $722.6 million total cash and deposits. And this is made up of two parts. Now, I just going in because of time, and then we can finish up. And I want all your feedback tomorrow because I need you to digest what this report is saying. Let's continue to go with the cash, and then we'll delve into the cash equivalents. Okay? Government's cash positions, as I said, as of March 31st, is that the country is holding a total of $772.6 million in cash and deposits. And 99.8 million of that is cash and cash equivalents. Money that can be accessed immediately. Okay? The remaining $622.8 million are all placed on fixed deposits that mature within 1 year. And because government is holding such large cash balances, what it does is that it continues to place more funds on fixed deposits, which in turn helps generate additional investment income. So our money is making money. Our cash is making cash. And that's why we're seeing investment revenues came in higher than expected in this first quarter. Now, what this means for each one of us and the country as a whole is that the Cayman Islands is in this report in a strong financial position, and that we have a significant cash cushion that can help protect us during the season that was fast approaching, hurricane season, possibly global economic shocks, and of course, unexpected emergencies. But it also raises, my friends, important questions. High cash balances can sometimes reflect delays, as we said earlier on, because of delayed hiring. Because again, delays in project delivery, or even lower than expected spending in key areas for whatever reason. So while in this report, it shows the cash position is strong, let me repeat, it doesn't automatically mean that services are being delivered at the level the public expects, as the caller alluded to. Are you getting value for money? Don't answer that question. Think about it, because I want to hear your feedback tomorrow. Yeah, because I want to go through with the report and look at the balances that connect these spending patterns, timelines, and overall cost of running the Cayman Islands government. Because you'll see in the middle of this page where it says borrowing, unfunded pension liability coming in at 156.1 million. So let's just slow it down before we get to the unfunded pension liability. And let's take a look at the long-term obligations. And that is the government debt, including that liability. What we're seeing is that as of March 31st, government's total debt stands at $497.4 million. Just over $50 million of that is due within the next 12 months. The debt balance is gradually declining. Yes, it's declining because government is making it scheduled principal repayments. And what we're seeing at this time, no new borrowings has been added to this quarter. The report in itself also highlights the unfunded pension liability for public sectors defined benefit plan. And as of December 31st, that liability was $156.1 million. And this represents the amount government will owe to current and future retirees that is not fully funded as yet. It's not a bill that comes due today, but it is a long-term obligation that must be managed very carefully. And here we go. I do them in twos. This means two things. Number one, Cayman's debt level remains manageable, and it is trending downward in this report. And that, my friends, supports financial stability and protects the country's credit rating. And second, the unfunded pension liability is a real cost of running government, and one that requires long-term planning for sure, to ensure, guess what? Future retirees receive the benefits they've earned. And these obligations, along with cash reserves, operating results from the foundation of the country's financial health. Okay? So that's something to really think of. The wrong person at the wheel? Oof. Yeah. Let's look at the GG-HAM program. Many of you may have heard that and say, what the heck is that? That, my friends, for those of you who don't understand those acronyms, that is the Government Guaranteed Home Assistance Mortgage Program. And that program was launched in November of 2007. That's how far back this goes. And it was launched to help Caymanians families qualify for a mortgage. And what it did is that it guaranteed a portion of the loan. Government made it easier for banks to approve borrowers who may want to otherwise meet the requirements, right? And over the life of the program, 326 households were able to achieve home ownership under this program. Now, the program had an approved limit of $65 million, but the agreement expired back in 2012, and today only one active loan remains. And that remaining loan has a balance of just over $111,000. And government's contingent liability, the amount that it would have to pay if the borrower defaulted. So anyone who got the loans, if they failed to repay, that's the contingent liability that was placed there. And that is about $59,500. And that is housing guarantee reserve is also maintained to cover part of this. You would label it then as an exposure to the government, okay? So throughout the entire program, dating back from 2007, 4 local banks called in guarantees on 23 loans. That was totaling $900,000. Now, no new guaranteed payments were required for this quarter. And the takeaway from this, my friends, based on this document, is that the GGHAM program helped hundreds of Caymanian families become homeowners. But, you know, there's a but. It is now essentially closed, with only 1 loan still active. And what we're seeing here in this report is that the financial risk to government is now very small, and that the program's legacy is one of long-term support for Caymanian home ownership programs. So what you're seeing is that people are asking whether or not they would consider bringing this back. And what do you think about it? Write that question down, or your answer to that question, and you're going to tell me what you think about that tomorrow. Now, we also see where government guaranteed a loan program, the GGLP, for medium and large businesses as well. And also in this, it said where it had a loan to Cayman Airways Airports Authority, a loan to the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center. So let's dive into those sections as well, because these are financial commitments that government is carrying. Yes, government is carrying this on their shoulders. It's your money. Because the business loan guarantee programs and 2 major interest-free loans to the public's authorities. That's real. But first, what we're seeing with the government guarantee loan program for medium to small businesses, for history context, this, my friends, was introduced back in December of 2020. We all know what that was all about, right? And that was designed to help companies who were under financial pressure during the pandemic. And in this quarter that is covered in this report, we saw where government partnered with 5 local banks and guaranteed 50% of each approved loan, up to $375,000 for medium-sized business and $1.5 million for large businesses. Now, 10 loans, as stated in this report, were approved, totaling $5.3 million. And the program closed in November of 2021. So no new loans at this time can be added because what? It's closed. What we're seeing in this report now is that of March 31st, the outstanding principal on these loans is $2.3 million. And government's maximum exposure, their liability, is about $1.1 million. Only 1 guarantee, as stated in this report, has ever been called, totaling $21,300, and that has already been paid. So government has also provided, as we move on, to 2 interest-free loans to public authorities. And the first is $50 million loan to the Cayman Islands Airport Authority to support major capital works at the airports. And as of March 31st, $42.8 million remains outstanding. Now, you heard all of the money that they made at the beginning. I need you all to keep following. The second is $10 million interest-free loan that was given by the government to the Cayman Turtle Conservation and Education Center. The full amount has been drawn down, meaning it's all gone, and repayment start date has not yet been sent. The key point, my friends, is that these loans and guarantees are part of the real cost of what it takes of running our government. And what these loans are doing: support businesses, protect jobs, and fund critical infrastructure and conservation works as well. But let me just say this: they also represent long-term financial commitments that must be managed carefully to protect the country's financial stability. Yeah. Because you see what it's costing to run the country, the forecast. We're underfunding medical for overseas, for our indigents, for our elderly. We see underfunded pensions. Hello. And then you got statutory authorities borrowing. Yeah. That's real. That money has to be paid back some way, somehow. And when you get a little creative with how your country is going to do a budget, what they're going to increase in cost and services and all this sort of stuff, all of the revenue that comes into our countries, driver's license fees, work permit fees, Caymanian status fees, PR fees, naturalization fees. If we don't connect them, where you get the money from? If there's a dip in real estate, if there's a dip in financial services, if we're no longer attractive or have the necessary infrastructure in place that makes our environment conducive, attractive, to bring in all of these people, to pay government these fees, how are we going to make up for this shortfall? Is the ESO data really making sense now if we're only at 20,000 generational? If we have to make our own locals because organically, generationally, we're not keeping up, or we're not having kids fast enough. I would like your feedback on what are some of the other suggestions that could keep us to maintain this lifestyle that we have. If the money isn't coming in, how are we going to take care of our pensioners? How are we going to pay to keep our elderly so that they can retire with dignity? You have 1 minute. You're live.
I had to call back. Forgive me. You said something there that just struck at my heart, right? And you said, with respect to financial services and, how they earn money. As someone who has worked in financial services for almost 2 decades, that's my bread and butter. That's my foremost expertise. Mm-hmm. I remember the Minister of Finance saying, when we kept, the head of the CEO for Cayman Finance, when it was announced that we would be increasing fees again, particularly to service providers in financial services, and he made a God-honest, truthful statement, which I had made years ago. We are going to kill the golden goose. We're killing the goose that lays the golden egg, right? I think the Minister of Finance, Honorable Walter Manglin, got up and said it's a farce that we are going to keep increasing fees and that companies are just going to get up and move overnight. I'm not sure if he's worked in financial services. I have for almost 20 years. He's an accountant, but I don't know, because that statement didn't make a whole lot of sense. What's actually happening? He is correct in a sense, that no, these companies are not packing up operations and moving to other jurisdictions. What's actually happening are Caymanians Caymanians, and talk about collateral damage and unintended effects. Caymanians are being displaced out of their roles in financial services because there is no requirement for these roles to be performed in the jurisdiction. There's no way to protect jobs for Caymanians. Those increases are being borne by these companies, and they are not passing it on to their clients. Who is actually getting the shit end of the stick are the Caymanian employees who work to keep that business going, right? And guess what? It becomes increasingly more cumbersome to keep up with the ever-changing AML, KYC regulations or whatever, so that we can remain compliant. But guess what? Those roles are being outsourced to countries like India, the Philippines, Mauritius, and the Caymanian worker who was in that seat is now being made redundant because those roles, it's much cheaper to hire someone in those jurisdictions to carry out those functions.
Remote.
So no, companies are not correct. So no, companies are not packing up operation and leaving the country. But what they're doing is cutting off their noses to spite their faces because Caymanians are being put out of work hand over fist because directly related to the cost of those companies that they work for being able to conduct business in Cayman and still turn a profit. Now, like I said, for me, it feels like cutting off your nose to spite your face. And guess what? These companies are not going to operate at a loss. The ethos behind being in business is a view for profit. A view for profit. And just like the government needs to have an operating surplus, so do these very large entities. And guess what? They don't care where the work is being done from, and they don't care
As
that
long
Sabrina,
as it
who
gets
is the
done. Correct.
Absolutely. And you know what else they don't care about? The quality or the standard. They don't care about the quality or the standard. And again, 20 years almost in this industry, the standard is subpar. It is subpar. But guess what? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the balance sheet looks good.
On their end.
But
And it
how
does.
many?
Yeah. Go ahead.
But how many Caymanians are being displaced so that the
Because-
government can achieve their cute budget? That's what I think needs to be considered, and that's what should be at the heart of all of these discussions is at what cost are we boosting our coffers? What is the true human cost? It's costing human capital, and you are striking at the heart of the middle class, which is the backbone of every society. You're striking at the heart of middle class, which is striking at every Caymanian household in this country. In this country, because guess what? A person who leaves India to come and work in Cayman, guess what? They can go back to India. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go?
Well, leave me there because I want to continue this tomorrow because we got to break down the responsibility of financial management rules. And then we'll also cover, and I'm hoping that a lot of people really digest what I've said. And I'm hoping with the fact that we brought to light the 2025 ESO statistics, we brought this in real time now. And if there's something that I have to repeat tomorrow about the liabilities, the cost of medical, remember, this is only the first quarter. I'm only delivering in layman's terms, but this are real numbers.
Just to remind the public, the government can't employ us all. They can't. We've seen that, and we've heard the Minister of Finance speak about the moratorium on hiring and et cetera, in core government. Right? The private sector has a role to play. And I think that they're doing their best to be able to play that role. But they too don't want to operate at a loss.
Exactly.
And I think
the cost of operations is a problem.
Correct. And I think that more thought and they need to be more prudent when they're making these decisions. But I will leave you there.
Yeah. No, I want you to tune in tomorrow because I want to wrap up the delivery of the actual document. And then we can start to dissect it. Not my opinion, your feedback matters and what you think this all means. And as CE Banks really says, speak it because it's the truth and Caymanians need to wake up now. Leave me there, caller. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Will do. Bye.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to a close of this episode of Sabrina Speaks right here on CMRTV.com. It has been my pleasure delivering this report to you. And we're going to pick back up at slide 18 tomorrow so that we just break it down again. In letting you know the responsible of financial management rules, its implications if they're not followed, but I want to keep it real. because all I'm doing is delivering in layman's terms this public document for us to digest. Now, if you put it all together, remember I told you the day will come where you will understand, appreciate, and respect this space because it would all make sense. When I hear us comment and run after the first thing that you hear, I want you to contribute, but contribute coming from an informed perspective. Because if what I shared with you here doesn't really ring some bells with you, I welcome your feedback tomorrow after this is all done. Please do have a great evening. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for all of my loyalists who never miss an episode, and even those who tune in after the fact. I appreciate you. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To all of our frontline ladies and gentlemen who are out there toiling, thank you for your service. Good night. God bless. Love you lots.
That's a wrap for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks. Thank you for tuning in and for being part of the conversation. Remember, the dialogue doesn't stop here. Stay engaged, stay informed, and most importantly, stay empowered. We'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m., same time, same place, right here on CMR TV and radio, where your voice matters and your truth is heard. Until then, Cayman, take care of yourself and each other.
That's it for today's edition of Sabrina Speaks, where your voice matters, your story counts, and your truth is always welcome. Join us weekdays from 5 until 6:30 p.m. right here on CMR TV as we dive into the topics that matter most to you. Catch the show live or on demand at cmrtv.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and always speak your truth.